Take that!
Huh? Bronco's chess set and a ring?
Yes. Take a look at the ring for me, if you would. What does the engraving on it tell you?
It's 2 letters, right?
It is. It's the seal with which Paul Halik used to mark his words. It was found next to Artie Frost's body 18 years ago.
Why would Bronco have a memento of my father?
The police looked for Frost's son for a long time and eventually they found him. The ring was handed over to the man they were able to prove was his child, Bronco Knight.
But that would mean I was...
Precisely. You are in fact the son of Carmelo Cousteau.
That can't be. I'm... My dad was... I remember, don't I? Bronco tied me up and locked me in that car. It's his fault I lost my dad. He deserved to die, didn't he?
Okay, this is new dialogue, I should be reading it.
So you had to see your circus thing while I'm in jail? I was looking forward to the next move in our little chess game, so the show's just the icing on top. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. I will. And hey, come back soon, okay? I've been mulling over my next move in the meantime. Speaking of which, I put a little something in your chess set. But you can take a look at it later. A little something? No idea what that might be, but thanks. If you hadn't detained me 18 years ago, it wouldn't have had to end like this. Huh? Did you say something? Me? It was nothing. Goodbye, Bronco, and farewell. I did all that, and you're telling me it was my father who killed Broncos? Then what was all this for? I didn't want to wind up dead too. I didn't want to be weak and vulnerable. That's why I tried to be like Canis, why I stayed in touch with him all these years.
And there we have it. The truth at last. Mr. Saint, you were Mr. Canis' correspondence chess partner. And you were the one manipulating events the whole time.
You're right. It was me. It was me all along.
He's finally telling the truth.
I was the one who witnessed the murder 12 years ago, but you knew that already.
President's assassination just as we thought. Which means he's the one who drew the picture.
And they knew it too. That's why the guard kept questioning me day in, day out. It got so I couldn't face what I knew the next day would bring. I was a nervous wreck. Who could blame me for wanting to get out of there?
But I imagine it wasn't easy simply running away. Winner would have sent his men after you.
No matter where I went, they were on me. They never stopped coming. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I couldn't sleep at night. Even the smallest noise had me chasing shadows. It drove me crazy. So I joined the circus. At least that way, moving from place to place was part of the job. My whole life I've been up against a chief prosecutor and the warden of a prison. No regular person could hope to stand up to people like that. From the time I was a child, I had nobody. But they weren't even the worst of it. The body devil was behind it all, controlling everything. He may have been a fake, but he was the president of an entire country. What hope did I have? There was the only one person I could turn to. Canis, the man who saved my life. He wasn't like Bronco. He really did want to help me.
That's quite a claim. Strange to think how famously ruthless assassin winning the admiration of the child he saved.
He showed me how to stop being a victim, to stop being hunted, and become a hunter myself, and they all became my prey.
But I doubt even you imagine the body double will ever go as far as to co-opt our country's police.
Oh, no, I'm sure didn't. And as long as Winner was around, no evidence was ever going to stand. He even nearly managed to ruin things this morning. The guard almost got away with it again. But I know him now at the back of my hand. I could see exactly how it was going to go down.
So he saw right through their plan. Not sharing Winner would try to suppress the evidence in Warden Lagarde's trial. I see. And that's why you kidnapped Sean, correct? You wanted to force a guilty verdict regardless of the presence of evidence or the rule of law.
Maybe I did. But how else was I going to make them pay for what happened 12 years ago?
Whatever helps you sleep at night, but Winner pulled one last surprise, didn't he? He tried to kidnap Sean himself in hopes of influencing the verdict. In other words, you chose the exact same course of action as the man you so fervently claim to hate.
That's only if I'd actually kidnapped anyone at all. But I'd never do anything so wicked. Never ever. Me commit a crime? No. Besides, I don't hate the three of them. If anything, I'm grateful. If they hadn't done what they did, my revenge wouldn't have been nearly as fun.
So you admit it. Your motive in all of this was nothing more than revenge.
Sure, I admit it. So what? I despise every single one of them. Here's the kicker. I didn't kill anybody. The most you can blame me for is writing the odd letter here and there. A quick note to Ringer to tell her about Winner, another to him so he knew about her. The fact they wanted to kill each other, one of them succeeded, that was all on them. So you take no responsibility for the fact your actions result in multiple murders? Right! Same thing at Gourd Lake. People are much easier to control than animals, you know. The whole fake assassination plot, I handed that to Bronco on a plate.
That was part of the plan too? So Rook's murder was...
No. That was all Bronco's idea. Nothing to do with me at all. Still, it moved things in the right direction, wouldn't you say? Isn't fate a crazy thing? You can't talk like that about a murder. Setting the guard up was easy too. I just made it seem like Knight and Cadis were in contact with each other. And slipped the chisel inside the chest set.
So it was you who put it in there?
Yes, it was. I thought it might point everybody nicely in Cadis' direction. Worked out pretty well, even if I do say so myself. Who knew it would be all it took to make that awful woman murder poor Bronco? I guess she got to where she just saw enemies everywhere she looked. I know the feeling. Even the smallest thing can set your paranoia to overdrive, and then things get ugly quickly. I had a front row seat for the whole show. You were the last piece we put into play, of course.
Who, me?
You saw both cases and finally brought down Winner and Lagarde. I guess you could say your powers of deduction were the weapon that put an end to them both.
I didn't solve the cases for your sake.
Sure, you didn't know you were doing me a favour. You were just playing at being an attorney for a little while, right?
What did you say?
All I had to do was cower and say, no, a few times. And you rode to my rescue like the hero you are.
Ugh. Was getting arrested part of your plan too?
No, that wasn't something I expected, I have to admit. I never thought they'd take the chisel for the murder weapon. That was the real plot twist. Made my blood run cold for sure. But then who should come through with a turnabout to end all turnabouts? The greatest legal mind of his generation, my knight in shining armour. I bet it felt pretty good saving me like that, huh? You ought to thank me, you know. I don't do that for many people. You're wrong. He wasn't playing at being an attorney. He was trying to help you because helping people is what Mr. Edgeworth does. He helped me right when I needed it the most.
Okay.
Oh, did he? You're sure he wasn't just trying his dear departed daddy's shoes on for size? No, that's not what he was doing.
Come on, K-Meister, don't let the clown get you down. He's projecting, plain and simple, painting other folks with his own grubby brush. It's not just he doesn't trust other people. The poor kid doesn't even understand the concept. Doing something for somebody else's sake? Forget about it, he'll never understand.
You think I care what you have to say about me? Consider this for a second. I got my revenge on everybody I sent to get it from, and yet... I never actually did anything. What's my crime exactly? Explain it to me. You think you can pin an incitement charge on me? Read my letters. I didn't mention murder anywhere. If I did, maybe you'd have a case. Maybe you could say I encouraged them. But it's the same story as always, I'm afraid. You can't prove I did anything at all. That's not true. You kidnapped me. Sorry, did I miss the part where you proved that? All I ever admitted to was sending letters. Letters which didn't threaten, coerce, or encourage anybody to do anything. I just passed on what you might call pertinent information.
Ugh, he's a slippery one, I'll give him that.
There's got to be something we can do. What about this excitement stuff he's talking about?
Incitement, K. It means to encourage or direct another person to commit a crime. In the eyes of the law, it's seen as equivalent to committing the crime itself.
We just need to prove he told him to do it. You say that like it's going to be easy. Guess maybe you're not so big on due process after all. You think you could make me carry the can for murders I had nothing to do with? Think again. I don't even have to talk to you if I don't want to. In fact, why am I still talking to you?
I can think of one reason. The tent is surrounded. There's nowhere left to run.
Really? You don't think I planned my escape too? What if, just to pluck an idea out of nowhere, I trained all these vicious wild beasts to attack on command, for example? All I'd have to do is say the word and sidle off stage into chaos.
You wouldn't.
I'm just spitballing, but you'd pay to see it, wouldn't you? I'd just as easily take Sean hostage with the gun I may or may not have in my pocket. Yeah, you know what? That'd make for a killer show. You'll do no such thing.
It's hard to know what lengths he might actually be prepared to go to. But knowing what you know about him already, we have to be prepared for the worst.
I'll humour you, but once the curtain goes up on this little performance, it better be a lively one. Bore me and we're done here, all right? Let's see if you can keep me entertained, shall we?
He's not going to give me an inch.
Oh, shit.
There must be something we can do. We can't let his crime go unpunished.
Hold it!
You encouraged others to commit murder and those murders were duly committed. If I can prove it, you'll be punished as if you'd done the deed yourself.
Yeah, what was the word for it again? I forgot already.
Incitement, K. Chairman Winner, Warden Lagarde, and Bronco Knight. All were criminals in their own right, and all committed unforgivable acts. But were all induced to commit those acts by somebody behind the scenes. This man right here.
You really don't hold back, do you, Miles? But it doesn't change anything.
Hold it!
Nowhere at all?
What, you didn't look? I can give you a minute if you like.
He's clearly confident I won't find anything. Getting your revenge, huh? That certainly sounds a little dodgy to me. You must have planned those letters down to the last word.
I don't want to teach you how to do your job. If you can't prove I encouraged them to commit those murders, your incitement charge goes up in smoke. Too bad, so sad, huh, Miles?
Hold it!
I know for a fact you made those murders happen. You told me yourself.
Did I? And can you prove it? If you can't, this ends here. Just ask yourself, could this sweet, innocent boy have done the things you're saying? No, 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 no.
I hate to admit it, but he's right. Without proof, we've nowhere to go with this. If we'd only prove what he said on the phone call.
Hold it!
The same story as always? What do you mean by that?
What does that matter? It's not important here. You know what is important, though? That you can prove nothing. Nothing!
Ugh. Until we have some way of showing that he's guilty, we're just going to have to continue floundering. Either I flush the island's evidence in front of him and hope for the best, or I go over it one more time. Whichever method I choose, proves the only way we're going to get anywhere here. He confessed to me over the telephone. He told me he was the one who made Chairman Winner kill Rosie Ringer. I just need to find a piece of evidence that proves what he said on that call. It's got to be the tape player, but which thing do I present it on is the question.
Objection!
There we go. I'm afraid you're wrong. I have proof that you meant for at least one murder to happen, because you said so yourself.
I said that? Weird. I don't remember.
I know you think you can worm your way out of everything, but this time you're wrong.
I am.
Yes, because our conversation was being recorded by somebody intercepting the signal from the very listening device you planted.
It was. You got your conversation with a clown here on tape? That was you trying to tell us? No! Langsy says a scheme of schemes will swallow him in the end.
Miss Lloyd, can you play the tape, please?
You bet I can. Got it. It was this part right here. Mr. Edgeworth, that's Judge Cavell's cell phone.
Who is this? You're the one who abducted Kay.
I can't hear Mr. Edgeworth.
Sorry. It was right around here.
I was surprised as... Huh? That's weird.
Is something wrong, Miss Lloyd?
I'll say. Seems we maybe, didn't quite catch the next part on tape.
What?
Why? How could it not be on there? Oh, poor baby. You think I'd leave myself wide open like that? Oh, think again. Something real special about that bug, you see. It can be turned on and off remotely. What? I never knew they made those.
Remote control bugs? Sure they exist, but...
You switch it off to avoid being recorded? Bingo!
But how? You would have had to know you were being recorded in the first place.
And I did. Of course I did. It was so obvious someone was eavesdropping, and that's because Ms. Lloyd, was it? You knew about the kid prosecutor's kidnapping without any prompting.
No. You heard that whole conversation?
I did indeed, old pal, but I must say, I thought you'd figured it out all much sooner. Aren't you supposed to be a genius prosecutor? Now, where were we again? Oh yeah, the part where you couldn't prove the incitement. It's game over. Oh well. Ah shucks, so my taping can be no use to nobody after all? Come on, I must have recorded something you can use.
If only that were true.
Hey K-Meister. Yeah? The old buggeroo. It was in your pen the whole time, right? Not shake anything loose from the old brain tree? I don't know, give me a sec to think. You're the only one who's been directly in contact with him before. Where the fuck did you come from? So sad, relying on flawed evidence, desperately trying to make it stick. Well, that's quite enough of that for now. Next topic, please.
Huh? You're trying to steer us away from our current line of inquiry. Kay had one-to-one encounter with him only recently. What if the sound from that point in time had been recorded? Miss Lloyd, how long have you been recording the intercepts for the bug for?
Start about, let's see now, 2 nights back?
In which case, during which time frame would we like to find Mr. Saint's voice on that tape? Mr. Saint abducted Kay and took her up to the roof of the big building 2 nights ago. What if there was a recording from around that time? Miss Lloyd, quickly, place any tape you have from the night before last.
Huh? Sure thing. That's the sound of the balloon.
Indeed it is. Around the time I imagine Mr. Saint would have been transporting you in it. Which means he can't have been too far away from you or the bug. Is there anything else in the recording, I wonder?
Wait, that noise. That was a gunshot.
You turned the bug off then too, it seems. Unluckily for you, you were a little late in doing so. There's no escaping it now. The gunshot ties you directly to the case.
Huh? What are you talking about? Nobody even mentioned a gun.
He's wrong. Somebody involved with this case discharged a firearm. I just need to remember who it was and present the piece of evidence that proves it. Gun residue detected on right hand. There we go.
Take that!
It's written right here in the President's autopsy report. Traces of a gunshot residue were detected on his right hand. And where was Kay when the gunshot was recorded? That's right, in the balloon being taken to you by the top of the big building. However, the roof wasn't as deserted as you needed it to be. Yes, I was there with the president. Wait, long after we started talking, he noticed something and told me to leave. If a gunshot rang out shortly after that, don't tell me you didn't hear it yourself, Mr. Saint. Not when it sounds crystal clear in this recording. You're just going to pretend to ignore me? What else are you supposed to do when you keep spouting your weird theories? We didn't just hear a gunshot on that tape. If you listen carefully, you can hear the bullet hit something too. Could the president have been aiming at Mr. Saint? Or would the bullet have struck?
Take that!
I think the president was firing at the balloon. And if he was, what we heard on the tape could have been the bullet hitting the basket. Let's look and see, shall we? A hole with a bullet stuck in it. There's a bullet hole in the bottom of the basket. I'd call that pretty conclusive proof.
Ah!
Well, Mr. Saint, how to explain not just the sound of the tape, but the accompanying bullet hole?
You see everything, don't you? It's pretty impressive, I have to admit. I doubt there's anything I could hide from you if you really wanted to find it. Just shut up and confess, will you? Alright, no need to get cranky. I admit I flew the balloon up to the roof, but when I arrived, Judge Cavell and the President were already there. This came as a surprise, I have to say. Only the President noticed me and had the good judge leave right away. He pointed his gun at me and fired. Why was he trying to shoot down the balloon? Oh, well, simple enough. When I arrived, he was about to murder your friend the judge here. Me? Yeah, you. You told him about Sean. What did you think would happen? Why do you think he met you in the first place? He thought you were going to expose him as an imposter.
She knew the truth about Sean's parentage. He was afraid.
Afraid? You could say that. The man was a total coward. His hands were shaking so much when he tried to get rid of me, he couldn't even shoot straight. So you see, I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I was an innocent bystander.
Hold it!
Around what time would that have been?
Just after 11, I think. That's when you and your pal went up to the roof, right, Your Honor? Yes, it was.
No contradictions there. The fact we confirmed the time's important nonetheless.
Because I arrived when I did.
Hold it!
So you didn't expect to find the two of them there?
Of course not. Why would I? It's lucky I got there when I did. You don't know what would have happened if I'd been any later. He was just about to try and kill you, Cavell. You really didn't suspect a thing? I'm afraid I did not. I had no idea. Maybe you shouldn't have blabbed him about the kid. You ever think of that? I was merely trying to... What kind of mother are you? You're lucky he didn't kill you and go after the boy!
I'm your opponent here, not Judge Cavell. Leave her alone and tell us what we need to know. Don't worry, Your Honor. I'll take it from here.
I'm in your debt, Mr. Edgeworth. As is Sean, I trust you to look after us both. I pray the goddess of justice will watch over us all. Your precious goddess didn't even warn you there was a balloon right behind you!
Hold it!
He made her leave, but why? Wasn't he planning to kill her?
Sure, but I bet he didn't want to do it in front of a witness. Murderers don't tend to like that. He still didn't know he wasn't the real president, right? His secret was safe for the time being. And now he knew about Sean, he'd killed Bo for the money he wanted. You two got lucky when he died, huh? Why the frowns? I'd be smiling ear to ear if I were you.
I don't think anybody was smiling until this matter's been cleared up once and for all. So please continue if you would.
Your wish is my command. Where were we? Oh yes, that coward of a fake president. I guess the witness suddenly appearing in the scammers was shaking him pretty badly and he panicked.
Hold it!
You're lucky the bullet only struck the bottom of the basket.
Yeah, I tried to get out of there the second he pulled the gun. Couldn't have my balloon going pop. It was a close run thing.
So if you left then and there...
Of course I did. He was shooting at me. Are you saying there's a problem with that?
Does that present a problem? In the end you managed to leave Kay there on top of the roof, which means you didn't exactly leave the vicinity, did you?
Oh yeah, guess I forgot to tell you the next part. After he shot me, he escaped through the hatch on the 51st floor. I hung around a little longer to make sure the coast was clear, then I landed on the roof.
Would you mind appending that statement to your testimony?
Makes no difference to me.
Hold it!
The hatch that leads to the storeroom where the items from the underground auction were kept?
The auction? My memory's still a little fuzzy, but the auction was 2 days ago, right?
Indeed. The auction was being held on the 50th floor that day, and a bunch of people were going in and out of the storeroom while it was happening.
A bunch of people going in and out of the storeroom when it was happening, yes?
They were, which means if the president really did escape the way Mr. Sage says, somebody must have seen him. There's no way he couldn't have passed through there unnoticed. The problem is the time at which each event occurred. But shouldn't the times line up? I can think of a certain piece of evidence that could prove helpful to our case. His story, he just happened to witness the events of the roof from the balloon.
If Simone hadn't come along when he did,
Judge Cavell would have been in serious trouble.
he's basically her savior, right?
I don't think it's quite that simple. After all, he was there to commit a crime too. In order to expose that crime, we need to go over his testimony in detail. There must be a hole in it somewhere. Lotta would have seen him if he had.
Objection!
You're lying to us again.
I am.
The president never entered the storeroom the night before last. Miss Hart testified to the fact.
You believe the word of a two-bit hacker of a mine? I beg your goddamn pardon? Say that about the chief again, I dare you. I'll wipe the smile off your stupid clown face. We know Hart was camped out on the 51st floor that evening. If our fake president didn't escape through there, how the heck did he get off the roof?
An excellent question. I want to provide the answer to next. We know he didn't leave via the elevator, so neither that nor the hatch are possibilities. Which leaves only one possible way of escaping the rooftop. How did the president leave the rooftop if it wasn't via the elevator or the hatch?
Take that!
He flew.
He flew?
Yes, in Mr. Saint's balloon.
Whoa, quit falling around, will ya? Why in the world would I give the guy a lift in my balloon?
Objection!
There was a security camera on the elevator and Miss Hart was on the 51st floor the whole time. There's no other way he could have left that rooftop.
Objection!
You know what the circus is all about? Making the audience think you're in danger. Give them a thrill. It's time to bring this act to an end. I'm not in danger here, even if you think I am.
What do you mean?
Watch and learn. Miss Hart, can I ask you something? You were keeping guard on the 51st floor the whole time, right? Never even blinking for a moment? You bet your big toe I was. I done said as much in my testimony. Huh. So the noise, the sound of Miles' Straker assistant falling through the hatch, that didn't scare you so badly you fainted. Well, so what if I did? Ain't a girl in the world that don't get a look. Ain't a girl in the world that don't get caught a little unaware sometimes. Sorry, Miles, but what you get for putting your faith in these people?
It doesn't matter. Kay can't have fallen down the hatch until after the president left the roof.
Are you sure about that? Allow me to offer a little counter theory. The coward fake president fired his gun at me. Then he hid in the shadows until after your friend fell down the hatch.
Ugh.
So what if he did? What would that mean?
Come now, surely even you can see what I'm insinuating here. It's elementary.
If the president hid until after Miss Hart fainted, he could have passed right through the 51st floor undetected.
No. And there we have it. Your little theory about the secret storeroom falls apart. Ugh, did he have to do it to me in my own voice?
That's right. Oh, and one other thing. I might have let Sean's identity slip to our pal, the president, while I was hiding in the shadows. That's why he went to the set to try and murder him the next day, only to wind up being killed himself. That's right. It was Sean who murdered the body double.
What possible reason could the boy have for doing so?
Oh, a pretty good one. He already knew he was the president's son.
And how did he discover that exactly?
Because I told him in one of my trademark letters.
What?
He's lying. Oh, you bet I am. Huh? Or am I? Maybe I did tell him. Maybe I didn't. Well, Shawnee boy, which is it? It was my fault the Torosaurus head fell off the roof. I admitted as much already. But I didn't find out about my dad until today, I swear. Huh. Well. I knew about the falling head thanks to the bug. Who knew it was you who made it fall, and the prison died from being crushed, was it? Right, well that's confirmed at least. You're the murderer. Congrats on getting your revenge. That ties everything up pretty neatly, wouldn't you say? Though I guess you'd say something more like...
And so the pieces fall into place at last. Well, counter my unassailable logic if you can.
You know my MO by now, right? I'm a hands-off kind of guy. I just like to pull a few strings here and there. That was the case with Bronco, Chairman Winner. What makes you think I'd let that fake president set foot on my balloon? Besides, I thought he was crushed to death by that muggle monster head. And who's that Torosaurus logging and falling, It all makes perfect sense. That's how our imposter wound up dead, no doubt about it. What was the motive behind the murder? The little truth I shared, just like I said. Get it? The truth. The thing you're so fond of. That's what caused the murder here, not me.
That's not possible.
Well, is there a detective in the house? Somebody arrest the boy! Can't help noticing nobody rushing to slap on the handcuffs. What's the matter?
Curse you.
Just as I thought. Admit it, you're all the same. You, Winner, the idiot phony president. You want the real culprit to go free so you can railroad me into a jail cell, don't you? That's the justice you're claiming to love so much. You only love it when you can twist it to suit your needs. That's not true. Well, if you're not going to make the move, guess I have to step outside and speak to an officer myself. Once I tell the kid he is a murderer, maybe they'll finally do something.
Objection!
We're not done with your testimony yet, Mr. Saint.
How do you know I'd make some excuse for stalling even longer? But you still don't have any proof, do you? Or chance of winning this? Tell me I'm wrong. And yet you still want to prolong the agony? Well, as long as you know what you're doing.
He's not holding back.
Did you forget that little Shawnee's life's on the line too? Hey, Malzarino. Take a deep breath for me, would you?
Why'd I do that, Fender?
It's times like these you need to kick back, take stock, and be grateful for what you have. The worst of times are when lawyers calmly show our biggest smiles, remember? The way in which the president made you escape is what you and your laughing boy can't agree on. How about this for a little thought experiment? Ruby's not about whether the big guy in the purple jacket got on the balloon or not, but rather, under what conditions would Simone have been cool with letting him get on board?
A turnabout in thinking.
Forgive the interruption, just my 2 cents worth. Or your old man's, I guess I should say. Maybe Gregory's techniques can still prove useful in this crazy modern era.
He's right. Under what circumstances could the body double have been allowed on that balloon? He was a physically imposing man, and what's more, he was carrying a gun. Could he have been drugged? No trace of sedatives found during his autopsy. In which case, surely not.
Are you about ready to continue, Miles? And don't forget, this is what we're playing for.
This is going to be tricky, but I have to tear his testimony down one statement at a time.
Hold it!
The strings in question being those of Sean, the president's body double in this case. You seem pretty confident in your abilities in that particular arena.
Is that so weird? I'm an animal tamer, remember? What's the wildest animal of them all? That's right, humans. Didn't take much to get those 2 dancing to my tune. A little truth here, a hint of revenge there. Somebody ought to thank me. I did this world a favour. Mr. Edgeworth, you're scaring me.
Don't let him get under your skin, Kay. We have to stay strong. This man sowed the seeds of another's revenge in order to achieve his own. It's our duty to stop him, and we will succeed in that duty.
Why do people do bad things, sir? Don't they realise it just come back to bite them in the end?
Hold it!
And so you insist you had no direct involvement in what any occurred?
What can I say? I don't like to get my hands dirty. Surely love to watch the action unfold, though. All those idiots desperately trying to kill one another, they don't even know I lit the fuse. I love it! You haven't changed. All you did 12 years ago was watch 2. You're talking about the whole SS5 thing? Oh, stop it. Your poor Popper scrabbling around for answers after finding nothing. Shucks. What do they call that again? Oh yeah, rank incompetence. How dare you!
Agent Lang, please!
You don't know the half of it, you damn clown!
Your father may not have closed out the case, not publicly anyway, but it was thanks to his work we were standing here right now.
Sorry to butt in, Miles. Your little pep talk isn't going to magically solve the case. I know you have your theories.
Hold it!
It's the only way he could have gotten down from the roof of that building.
Alright, let's get this one out, shall we? Suppose I took him down to the ground like you said. What's wrong with doing that?
So you admit it, you did take him on your balloon.
You're really obsessing over this one little detail. This isn't like you, Miles. How do you think it went down? He held me at gunpoint and said, show me the city at night? That's ridiculous and you know it is. Or did you really fail to think it through?
You said yourself you gave him Sean's identity. Surely that's enough to win him over.
Win him over? The man who shot at me? No. Then you must have put him to sleep and carry him away like you did with me.
Very well, let's suppose that to be true for a second. Did the autopsy show the presence of sedatives? Oh, it's no good, he's just not giving us an opening.
Anyway, never mind all that. There's way more interesting things I'd rather talk about.
Hold it!
I actually have some doubts about that. If the president was really killed by the Torosaurus head.
Don't tell me you're throwing your own pet theory in the trash, Mr. Genius Prosecutor. Aren't you the one who went all to that trouble to prove the man squished by head hypothesis was true?
That may be my theory at one point. That was when we thought the head was the only thing that could have crushed him.
Why the past tense? It's still your theory, no? It's not like you have anything else right now. The president's body double was crushed under the falling Torosaurus head.
No, there must be something. Some other piece of evidence that could link this man to the president's death by crushing.
You don't think it's time you gave up, Miles? I don't like watching you struggle like this. We all know who did it. The model head's practically screaming his name.
Hold it!
Sure, Sean was the one who caused the head to fall, that much we do know.
Even admitted it himself. Fantastic, we're all in agreement. Well done, everybody. Case closed. Sean Fane killed the fake president, and that's that. Somebody get the cops in here.
Not so fast, the case is far from closed.
Still scrabbling, huh? Alright then, enlighten us and be quick about it. If you can't, I can't. If you can't, I want to see the kid in handcuffs. Or are you going to be a stickler about the law when things aren't going your way? Mr. Edgeworth, what do we do? What do we do?
Think, Miles, think. If Mrs. Saint killed the president's body double, it would have to have happened while the two of them were together on the roof. What could it have had to hand? That's the answer. That'll show us how he was killed.
It's not going to make this easy, is he?
We need to think about how the president died. It's a very particular cause, to say the least. If we assume he was crushed by the Torosaurus head,
The whole thing becomes Sean's fault, right? What if it wasn't what the president was crushed by?
is there something else that could have exerted a similar kind of force?
Objection!
Sean didn't kill the president. The president was crushed by a monster.
Did you really just say that? You? I get it. He's the kid who can communicate with a giant beast, right? Did he use his special powers?
The only person in communication with monsters was you.
You must have mixed me up with somebody else. No monster powers here, I'm afraid.
Why the false modesty? You're very close with at least one such creature. You can make this particular monster do exactly as you command. It was you who killed the president, Mr. Saint, and I can prove it.
Ah?
You're talking about the lion balloon? Yes, a quivering mockery of a monster filled with hot air, but a monster nonetheless. Not entirely unlike Mr. Saint himself.
Sorry, you lost me. What are you trying to say exactly?
You seem very keen to stick your story about having manipulated Sean the president, but no matter how true you may have wanted it to be, there's nothing more than a desperate lie. Even the most skilled animal tamer can't make the dead do his bidding. And the president was dead long before he left that roof, having been killed by your balloon.
I get it. The thing may look lighter than air, but it weighs a few £100, right?
When the president attacked you from the roof, you had to think quickly in order to protect yourself. The method you chose, land the balloon directly on top of him. You didn't need to let him ride the balloon, you didn't need to coerce you into asking him, because what you took away was his dead body.
Objection.
Wait a minute now, Miles. If what you're saying is true, the president would have been killed 2 nights ago. Which would mean the time of death recorded in the autopsy was wrong.
It would.
You're really losing your touch. Look again, it's written right there. Time of death, April 5th, approximately 11 p.m, clear as day.
Ugh.
April the 5th, that was yesterday. Which means... Exactly. It means he died when the Torosaurus head fell off that roof. Alright, Sean, time to be honest with us all. You know the right thing to do. You killed your daddy, didn't you? You hated him, didn't you? We get it. Who wouldn't? He just left you. What kind of father would do that? No, that's not what happened. I already told you I didn't know who he was until today. Oh, but you did know because I told you myself.
Can my theory would have been so wide off the mark?
I want to thank you once again, Miles. You hounded Winter in the garden till her crimes were finally exposed. And by ruining them both, you helped me get my revenge. Gotta love the powers of deduction.
If the time of death matched up, everything else would fit. So, could he possibly have cheated the time of death somehow?